Okay, so we are finally here on the final VOD of the evening, unless Connect4 wants me to look at his stuff. But yeah, we're going back to Tom Tyten, who is a longtime regular and contributor here in terms of sending his VODs over. And we actually do have a pretty good matchup for you. It's going to be Shulk versus Duck Hunt. So kind of de facto, one of the matchups that every single Duck Hunt player is going to complain about because they have no idea how to fight Shulk. And it's not their fault. Shulk's a hard one to learn to fight, and he's not a very much a straightforward character to learn to fight either, because there's going to be a lot of times when you're going to fight him and you're like, wow, so Shulk cheats now. Where it wasn't really as much the case in the past, but like he was always like, obviously big sword, able to change up his stats quite a lot, which can make it really easy for him to get in and just like kind of ruin what you want to do. But there's something you always need to remember about Shulk, and regardless of what he does, he has some definitive crippling weaknesses that he can never get rid of, and that of course is in reference to his frame data. So no matter what form he's in, his frame data is always going to be terrible. So if you are next to Shulk and both of you have not pressed the button, Shulk already lost. Like, whenever you're next to Shulk, every single move that you do is going to be faster than him. Except the one exception is that if he's on the ground, his jab isn't too slow. Like, I want to say his jab is like a frame 4 or 5, so it's like his tilts aren't too bad as well. Like, they're pretty par for the course for most characters. Yeah, like his jab is frame 5. Not great, but like not atrocious. Forward tilt's frame 12, which is pretty standard for sword characters. Up tilt is frame 11, but of course that one has ridiculous range to it. But has actually, wow, that actually has less cooldown than his forward tilt. That's kind of surprising. And down tilt's of course pretty good as well. But of course, like outside of up tilt, his range on his other tilts aren't anything too ridiculous. And then dash attack's a frame 12 move, which isn't terrible, but it's nothing like, amazing per se. And then after that, like the rest of his moves are, pretty normal range. Like in terms of the grounds, like forward smash and down smash are relatively normal. Up smash is pretty good range, but it's nothing, it's not up tilt in terms of range. So the main thing that you want to do is like you want to understand what his movement's going to be with all of his different arts, and you want to learn how to counter those. So when he's in jump art, he's going to be trying to bait you out a lot with like jumps, and he's going to be like crossing you up quite a bit. So you can throw your cannon there and like force him to air dodge or force him to swing. Because the thing is, if he swings in the air, he probably can't get out another aerial before he lands, or he needs to jump. And when you do that, like it makes it really easy to understand what his limitations are once he's in that zone. So for example, if he jumps and you throw a cannon there, so he either needs to air dodge or he needs to do a fair. And when he does that fair, after he swings, then he's completely vulnerable. So those are the kind of things that you need to think about when you're fighting him. So general rule, jumping, you're going to look at like making him swing early and like cut him off with like can and stuff like that. Or you're going to plan to cover his landings with can afterwards. But generally speaking, you're going to apply that logic more to speed art than jump art. So jump art, just don't get caught in the air. Stay grounded during that one, and like you want to throw out gunman when you can to call out his landings when he needs to jump and land. And then you're going to be throwing can in either shield cam positions, or you're going to be covering your cross ups with that. Speed art is all about covering those cross ups, because generally he's going to run at you with an aerial, and he's going to cross you up, or he's going to space it. So off of those things, you can place Cam behind you, and then that way, hopefully when he crosses you up, then Cam will catch him there. Or you can like preemptively jump forward and throw out an aerial and catch him before his aerial catches you. Because like his aerials don't really start in the best of spots. So like, let's look at neutral air. So like neutral air, if he's doing this, he needs to be faced backwards for this to start earlier. And it starts like this. So in front of him, you can just kind of hit him with a fair. And he has to wait until, so this starts frame 13. So 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'd say like frame 16 is like kind of when he probably has himself covered. Forward air is actually even worse. So this is frame 14, then 15. So then like about 16. So kind of about the same is when he's got himself covered. But before that, you can just like run up and fair him. Back air, obviously the way that he's going to do this, he's either going to completely cross you up or he's just going to space this. So generally speaking, you're probably not going to be in a range to hit him, but regardless, this is slow. I guess it's frame 19. It's absurdly slow. Up air, he's not going to be landing with. Like, he can technically land with this, but like he's just going to be a stick. So again, you can just kind of hit him. There's nothing really too scary about that. Down air, he's really not going to land with that one either. So yeah, that's kind of how you'll deal with his aerials. And because they're all like, you know, literally frame 14 when they come out, they're pretty easy to parry as well. Like the one exception is that he's going to have a second hit with like down air, which can be weird. But like against back air, forward air, neutral air, you can all parry these. But obviously, keep in mind, these are very, very safe on shield. So if he doesn't end up next to you, you're probably not going to punish him. But there's a good chance that he's going to hit your shield very, very high up. So by parrying that, you actually do have quite a lot of time to punish him. So it's all about how he lands on your shield with those. So regardless, I think it's going to be easier for me to point these things out as the match goes on. So as we get closer to it all, I'll be sure to point out as many anti-shulk things as I can. Also, real quick, let me... Is that too loud? I feel like it might be too loud. Put that back at 92. Tools, I need to figure out what's the... I feel like there was one way that I could figure out how the... Check right now. Okay, so it doesn't have it there. All right. Well, either way, we can figure out what the frame, but we can just get out of this and figure out the frame by frame. Yeah, so actually, like right here is a pretty good example. So let's look at this. So like after you did that landing fair, you could have legit done full hop up air and he probably would have been stuffed out. Like if you're next to Shulk and you're like below him, you can juggle him very easily. And pretty much his only option is to like neutral air out. Like he had to get this low before his nair started. So you could have probably up aired him. Obviously, in that situation, I think you did your fair a little bit late, so maybe you couldn't have done that. But like generally speaking, those are like kind of things that you can keep in mind with Shulk. Again, Shulk's not a character you're going to be doing clay pigeon against, so yeah, don't do that. All he has to do is like kind of go in, and as long as like he's out of range of that, or maybe his attack is strong enough that it just deletes the clay pigeon and doesn't break, then he's going to put you in a very bad spot. So don't clay pigeon. Yeah, now that his shield is below his head, like you can literally just keep pressuring him. You really don't have to play that scared. See, like right there, his fair is so slow, and because he didn't drift back, he got stuffed out by Can. Like those are the kind of things you need to keep in mind. Again, if he jumps right above you, like you can just throw any aerial and it will beat him out. See, at this instance, he literally, like when he was up there and you were jumping towards him, again, you can throw out any attack and he will lose there because he did not throw out his attack preemptively and he didn't space it out. No, Buster, you play it safe because like he has like a lot of ridiculous things against you with Buster. So like when Buster happens, like you just play it safe, and if you find your openings, you find your openings, but you're never finding your opening with clay pigeon. That is the last thing you're finding your opening with. At least in this matchup. You're just not doing it. Yeah. He can also call out rolls pretty easily with back air too. Yeah. You never want to fight your way back when he's in smash. Like, literally, all your attacks will lose to him, and he'll just kill you. So you just need to play it safe. Yeah, you could have dashed up a little bit earlier, so you could have covered that, but you at least still hit him with fair. Yeah, there it would have been a little bit better to get your can out because he was going to be landing on that platform, so you could have pressured him preemptively. And then it would have made more sense to throw out Gutman because then he needs to come down and get you. That's the thing. It's like when he's edge guarding you, there's really not too much you can do. You can just like kind of hope to like outstuff him or like go high. Those are mostly your two options. The other thing you can do is like you can can aside and like trade, but that's pretty much you're doing that to like can out. Like you don't. If you want to stuff him out, you send can out beforehand. If you're like, okay, no matter what in this situation, he's going to hit me with the sword, you're just going to blow yourself up with can, and that's the only thing you focus on. Yeah, guys, just please stop doing those clay pitches. This is not the matchup to do them with. And you cannot land on top of Shulk. He's got that up tilt, he's got that up air. You're not doing it. Just stay to the side of him and try to get him above you, not you above him. You above him is a very bad place to be. I gotta use some smash. Okay, good catch. Yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. So, like, unfortunately, there's not really anything you can do about him, like, just shielding out and then up, doing air slash against you. But in that case, the only reason why he was able to do that was because you did do that jab at low percents. If it wasn't that, I think he would have been far enough away that the air slash wouldn't have connected. So I would say that's more of a low percent situation than him switching into shield situation. If he was in shield beforehand, yeah, then you were screwed. Also remember, clay pigeon down smash is only true if you do Pingus. But, I think you're trying to just catch him landing. Okay, see, now that was the time to go for your clay pigeon cane, because you actually landed it when he was in buster mode. That would have been great. And the other thing, too, is, like, if he went into shield mode, then he probably would have punished that. Yeah, see, like, clay pigeon's not going to work. It's just, don't do it. But yeah, again, like, when he was coming down, like, you could have stuffed him down with fair again. When he's in shield art, the only thing you're concerned with is camping him. Because, like, he literally cannot approach you. He's just way too slow. Like, when he's in shield art, there's two things you're thinking. You're resetting neutral and calming down, and you're just tacking on damage to him until he gets out of it. Like, because we have so many projectiles and everything, like, shield art is the biggest non-threat in the world. It's just that he can technically use it to, like, kill you in certain situations, but for the most part, those situations shouldn't really come up. Unless, like, you're just not being smart about, like, him being in shield. Here we go. Twice. Yeah, that was at least the correct aerial to go for. Good stuff. Yeah, see, now we got one shield can. So, like, that when he did that nair there, a lot of times they'll go into speed art, cross up with that, and shield can will catch them quite often. Actually, I just noticed he has not gone into speed art at all, which that's kind of weird for Shulk. That's like their favorite one to go into outside of jump. Yeah, now at this point you just camp. Yeah, like, now that makes sense to do clay pigeon because, like, he's not getting to you. And he can't really jump away enough to, like, avoid when it hits his shield. Wasn't a bad idea. At least you weren't holding shield more. That was the most important thing. Okay, good. You went away. You caught yourself drifting in. Yeah, okay, good. That's good that you just waited it out. Yeah, just remember, if he's right next to you, if you jump and do an aerial, then he's getting hit. The only way he's getting out of it is if he air dodges. Yeah, he got so greedy there, too. And he got really lucky with that spacing, too. I thought that was going to hit him. Also, you did kind of waste your time there. Like, if you were just, like, waiting for him to land on that platform, then you could have just, like, had a back air ready to kill him. Also, yeah, there's actually just no reason for you to approach him in that instance. Because, like, he doesn't lose his kill power with this. He does less % damage, but, like, his knockback's still the same. So you need to be very careful about approaching him like this. And also, he got so lucky he held it at the end. If he didn't, like, that upper was not connecting. Yeah, no. Overall, like, you just played safe enough that you got to avoid the situations that would have killed you there. But, like, yeah, you definitely don't know how to exploit Shulk's bad frame data. See, like, this is what you expect more out of Shulk, is go into speed and, like, do things like that. So that's the other reason why it's good to do shield can, is so that way if he tries to do those grabs, you can still beat him out with your can. Yeah, he's got true combos off of down throw, so when that happens, you don't try to do anything. You know, we might be able to infinitely up tilt him now that I think about it, until, like, he jumps. It would be worth checking out to see what happens. I thought that you got hit by that can for a second. You know, while for the most part, you know, he's going to have a little bit of a hard time hitting shorter characters. It's kind of dependent on what move he is. If it's forward air, probably he's going to hit you. Back air, it can be a bit hard for him because it doesn't linger as much. And then neutral air, he needs to be facing backwards for it to hit, like, short characters easily. Yeah. Hey, that's always a good thing to get. Yeah, again, like right there, when you're next to him, you get to throw out any move, and he was getting hit. Aw. Yeah, that move has range. Again, if you throw out the move first, he loses. That's like always the rule against Shulk. And then, yeah, when he's trying to, like, at this moment, he's playing way more like a standard Shulk. He's trying to approach you a lot when he's in his arts. And we're finally seeing speed come out, too. So you can play a lot more shield canning. It's just you want to make sure can's behind you. So that way he's more magnetized on hitting the can, and he's going to put himself in a vulnerable position where he's going to get blown up. When you put it in front of you, he's probably going to space and be safe about it. But behind you, then they space worse. Ooh, good catch. God, he can drift so far. That's nuts. Yeah, so he got the really good part of that. It's like when it dips below him. Again, that's reasons why you don't go for Clay Pigeon against Shulk at ledge. Truth be told, he probably should have killed you for that. Yeah, just get on him though for calling you out. So in that instance, he actually spaced himself. So if you threw out an aerial, you probably wouldn't have hit him. And that's it. Like, he has to space to make sure he doesn't get hit for his moves to be good. But if you can ever move past his good spacing, then he loses when you throw out your attacks. Yeah, so you probably did condition that pretty well. Like, that's something you need to keep in mind, is like, what are your conditioning against your opponents? You have to remember, it's like, you know, his frame data is not good. Like, about the only thing he can do is like air slash out of shield, which I think is decently fast, but it's not great. Like, okay, air slash out of shield is frame 10. So you can, as long as you do fair properly, you can shield it before it happens. And there is no intangibility on it. So you can still beat that out. So that's going to be the main reason why he doesn't send it out immediately. You gotta be careful. So careful with landing aerials. Please stop doing those clay pigeons. Just please. Oh my god. Yeah, so, okay, see, that's the thing. With down air, because it doesn't linger too long, that's one of the moves that you can do your low-profile shenanigans with, and you'll definitely have a harder time hitting you. Jesus, I thought you were in control for the most part. I guess he hit you enough just that it wasn't going to happen. But yeah, I mean, you pretty much gave up all your control because you decided to spam Clay Pigeon. If you didn't do that, like, you would have been in firm control of the neutral the entire time. That was it. Like, he just hit you enough times at ledge, and you were just kind of spamming a little bit too much.
3, 2,
and also, you haven't put together that you can just beat him out with frame data. Yeah, I'm not sure if like that was intentional or not, but yeah, I mean it's just good to get like a can set up in general against him. I think it's gonna any character for the most part, but yeah, it's like you want to have a game plan for where you want to put your can and what paths you want to cover when he's like in his different like mobility arts. So kind of recognizing that is a good thing to do. Shoot, did it happen? No, it's still lurking. It's still working. Did it disconnect? I can't tell. Oh, I guess it did do it. It did do its disconnect, I think. Wait, no. What? No, it didn't. It didn't. It says it's still live. Yeah, it's still working. Yeah, I don't know what happened. But yeah, for the most part, you want to place your can out, and you want to think about where you're using can to cover his different mobility options. And then you go from there. Also, yeah, please stop doing these rising... Like, okay, rising aerials and neutral is one thing against Shulk, but, like, landing with rising aerials is very bad. Because, like, he can just space around that and hit you. Where it's like, if you're next to Shulk, then that's a different story. But, like, when he can be ready to intercept you, then that's when it's very bad. So stop holding in and moving in with fair. See, like right there, because you decided to jump and throw out an aerial, he lost, and that's the summary of the Shulk matchup there. Once you learn that one thing, he becomes significantly easier to fight. Oh, you had the right idea. Oh, you got so lucky you didn't like tip yourself into that. You need to stop wasting your jump too. So something to remember about Smash Art is he does a lot less damage, so his shield damage in Smash Art is actually pretty bad, but he can still kill you with throws. Yeah. Wasn't too much you could do there, except like hopefully try to like up air dodge. Not sure what that up smash was. Oh, he wasn't ready for that. Yeah, at that point when he goes, like, don't run into him when he's in shield. Run away. Just run away. Don't go into him. That's gonna make your life so much harder. Like, you actually have to deal. Actually, dealing with Shulk is the worst part. Make it so you don't have to deal with Shulk. Don't approach him like that. There's no reason for you to ever approach him. He's always gonna come to you. That's the thing. It's like when you're approaching him, he can do his safe spacing. So you wait for him to approach you with a commitment, and then that's when you move forward and meet him in the air. You don't approach Shulk. He approaches you, and then that's when you stuff him out. I don't know if he got hit by the can at the end, but like it almost looked like he did. See, like this isn't too bad of a setup right now. You're cutting off the jump and you're throwing out the arrows preemptively if he decides to like jump in and like get you. And because of the gunman timing, it locks him down and prevents him from like coming up and getting you. Good catch right there. See, like that was the perfect setup right there. So you covered the retreat with the can. Then you threw the clay pigeon. I think it was a clay pigeon that was there. And then you were basically ready to cover his jump in of his speed. So you knew he's going to get around here. Then you punished him for that. And that's kind of what it's like fighting him. That's how you know you understand at least what you need to do to fight him. Wow, he actually teched that. If he was in jump, he probably could have made that one, but you got lucky there. Oh, I see you trying to clank it out. Yeah, see, look, as long as they're not thinking carefully about their spacing, they will mess that up. Yes, remember if they dodge an up air, you can nair fast fall and it'll pretty much always catch the air dodge. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so unfortunately his nair can catch a roll and it's like that, so you don't really want to roll behind him because there's two things. He'll either catch you with nair or he's going to do a back air and that's just going to straight up kill you at like at 10 more percent, like back air will just straight up kill. So you still want to focus on being in front of him for that reason. Oh my god, okay. Back in Smash 4, that would have gone through your shield. So thank god that's different. They changed that. Okay, so you can stick with normal logic against that. That was very scary. So yeah, I wish you recognized the fact that he wasn't in a position to hit you at all, because then that was actually a pretty big punish over there. Also, you could have used that can to like pressure him, so that way you could have gained space against him, and then like stuffed him out. Good call out there. That's the thing. So right now, what you're doing is bad. You're making it very easy to know what spacing he needs to get at against you. And that makes it easy for him to stay safe. Like he controls center stage. He has no worries at all. He's got a giant disjoint. So he can just kind of keep hacking away at you from here and not have to worry about it. And your own can hitting your shield is just going to damage your shield. This is not good. You want to entice him to come towards you and like help punish those so that way you can either stuff him out or he tries to cross you up and then you punish him with can. Those are the things that you want to do. It's black. Shouldn't be black. It's working. Yeah, it's still working on my end completely. All right. Yeah, again, like, see, like, you're just, like, way too telegraphed with that grab. Yeah. And the other thing, too, is, like, because, like, you're being really antsy with your buttons and now, like, you look very, very desperate for the kill, it's making it a lot easier for him to just, like, kind of figure out what he needs to do. As long as he sits back, he'll eventually get that opportunity to edge guard you. It's like there, yeah, if you didn't get antsy and you didn't, like, give up the positionings that you were getting to help, like, push your advantage against him, you definitely could have won that game. There's actually, like, no reason for you not to be able to.
3, 2, 1, go! Speed!
Yeah, see, like, keep in mind, he is going to have to approach you at some point. It's just, you got to remember with speed, he can get right in your face immediately. So you got to be very careful about how you're using your cans or how you're summoning them. Yeah, that nair lasts forever, so don't worry about the fact that it was able to hit your can. Just assume that if you see the sword glowing blue, that there's a hitbox out. Oh, good catch there. He doesn't have a jump. Take advantage of that. Oh, okay, yeah. So I wish you recognized the fact that he lost a jump there, because that would have been the easiest thing. You throw a can, you wait for the air dodge, and you just punish it with a smash attack. Like, it's the easiest day one things to know what to do with smash. Yeah, again, you used that gunman, kind of ruined your ledge trap setup, but at least you had some gravity on it, so it was technically covering jump. Bad DI in his part. Gotta love that one. You remember, when you're next to him, you can beat him out frame data wise. So always make sure you're always pushing that type of advantage against him. And see, though, that was good because he was used to that spacing being safe, but because you pushed it right to the tip of your can and exploded right there, that's how you were able to get that one. Ah, yeah, that's too bad. So something to remember about Shulk Snare is remember how the hitbox works on this one, because like this is the one where you can kind of use your crouching to get around it. So where is Nair? So remember this. So if he's facing in front of you, after this initial part, if you stay crouched in front of him, he basically can't hit you. He has to drift behind you in order to hit you. So when this happens, you can just hit him pretty freely. So always remember that. Get your can out. Now, that's the other thing too. If you sandwich like Shulk, like cans pinging to the right and you are on this side, it makes it really hard for Shulk to do anything comfortably, because like if you hit his shield, he basically has no frame advantage against you, and if he tries to retreat, you can cut him off with can as well. That's a very, very, very good setup against him. Like think about different ways you can sandwich him and just like make it very uncomfortable for him to move. And also remember, if he's in the corner, keep him in the corner and like pressure him, because like he cannot shake you off. He does not have any CQC options. Like the best he has is a frame 10 option, and that's really it. Yeah, you can't. Your attempts to hit the can is not going to beat out the sword. Oh, you got really lucky there. Yeah, remember in Smash Art he can grab you and kill you, so it's not a good idea to just like sit there and shield. But he's not taking advantage of that. That was a good delay on the clay pigeon. Yeah, also yeah. Remember, if you jump forward, remember you can stuff him out with fairs. Wasn't a good approach though. Like there wasn't really a good reason for you to do that at that moment. Honestly, something that I should think about more, which I think is really, really good that you just did there, is the black coat gunman to can spawn. Because pretty much like if you see that, you can basically guarantee that the can, when you spawn it, will hit the black gunman, and then it'll launch like in a very, very, very horizontal lane really fast, which honestly that's a pretty good thing to like just remember, like a good trajectory to remember instantly, because like that's kind of like the best like charge shot style thing we can do. And remember, the black gunman can still hit it even if the can's on the ground. It's just making sure that it gets hit by the shot. But the higher the gravity is, then the worse that charge shot will look. See, now that gunman makes sense because you didn't have anything covering the ledge and he was still high. That was really good coverage too. You covered ground and you covered the high. Oh man, you forgot you're a short character. So at that point, when you had Gunman there down and he was trying to space you out, that one you can actually charge like F smash for, because he's probably going to keep trying to hit the Gunman and you'll probably low profile it, and then the F smash should be able to hit him. Yeah, not really a good strategy, but something that has a pretty good chance of working. Yeah, there's not too much you can do there. Like, against Shulk, sometimes your best defense is going to be doing a gunman there, so then that way the shot can protect you from Shulk coming down to an edge charge you. Oh, man, you almost got the blinking can there. Wow, that was... You weren't even remotely paying attention to his jump at all. But yeah, you could have like full hop up aired and he would have died. Like he's jumping a lot when you're running towards him. And as long as you do that, then he's going to die. Yeah, I think he did. I don't think he did that one correctly. Also, is it working for you now, the stream? Yeah, overall, it's like you still don't understand the openings that you had against him, and you're not understanding like what's the safer ways to play against him, and like what's kind of more optimal to do in each situation. That's one thing you definitely need to get down. All right. Okay, I don't know if you saw that you did the same exact thing like 3 times in a row. So like really understand like you can be super headstrong with like certain setups that you want to go to, and like he's just kind of beating you for it. So really understand when you're doing that type of thing. And I will say, like, immediately right now, it wasn't in the smart conditioning type of way. Like, if you want to do, like, good conditioning type things to, like, you know, give yourself, like, a guaranteed type of outcome, you don't really want to do it with neutral options unless you're pressuring shield. Because, like, pressuring shield, that type of conditioning is good. But, like, if it's just 2 neutral situations, then that can put you... That type of thing where you keep going the same thing over and over again, that could just end up a lot worse for you. Because he could just kill you off of one thing. Where, like, let's say you always do standard get up and he's punishing that pretty consistently. You can do that so they just are conditioned to, like, always covering that option to kill you. And then that's when you throw in something like a roll or a get up attack to, like, punish them. And then you can pretty much get back safe that way. Yeah, remember, you can't roll in against Shulk, because Nair's going to cover that. Always do remember that he can shield art out of your Clay Pigeon combos. But when he does do that, you can, like, infinite Clay Pigeon him. And that's really funny when that happens. It's just that you can't go for your regular follow-ups that you would do. For very obvious reasons. There also might be, like, a percentage cap where you can do the infinite Clay Pigeon combo. It may not be something that, like, works right off the bat. Yeah, if you were a little bit earlier on your attack, you would have beat him there. Oh, that was scary. That's very scary. Please stop doing Clay Pigeons. Also, something... Crap. I just realized I just hit pause, so I accidentally stopped recording the thing, but I think that just happened now. In terms of in Buster art, when Shulk's in that can also like break your shields too. So yeah, you haven't really been an issue and like prevalent in a place where that's an issue, but it's something to remember. Like right there, you could have just like done an up air chain down. So I'm not sure why you want to pressure him, unless you just like you're not thinking about the fact that his frame data is bad, which that's probably likely. Good catch there. Oh man, you had that covered with the can. Again, see, like the only option he could have done there is air dodge. Yeah, unfortunately that's not working. You had to do like an immediate throw. Also, the other thing, too, is, like, with a lot of those throw-to cans, like, you need a... I think you could have gotten a couple of those, but, like, the second that he's across stage and the can lands on the ground, then you need to throw him off stage. You can't throw him towards the can. Yeah, he just caught you there. He should have been able to lift that one. I don't know what he did to mess that one up. Why did you throw him on stage? Good catch with that. That was a really good call out. Unless you threw him on stage to like do something with the can there. Which that's actually pretty big brain. That was that's quite a lot of steps forward at that point. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back on the bot and splice these two parts together now. It's a little unfortunate. Yeah, overall, like, really, like, the first real big issue you had there was that clay pigeon. Like, that, just please stop. The two-way that he got his openings right there was because you decided to go for clay pigeon. And again. Wow. That was unfortunate for him. That was like that was like his clay pigeon right there. He got really greedy with that edge guard, and truth be told, he can be pretty greedy most of the time, and like with zero issues. But at that time, it turned around on him. You got really lucky there. Yeah, you have to remember you do have to play very safe against smash attack. You don't really want to do too many risks there. Overall, like if you're a little bit earlier on that can, then I don't think you would have gotten the hit. Probably could have killed him there if you really wanted to. The other thing too is like you need to notice that he's jumping out of shield a lot because that's all Shulk can really do. And like your dash grabs, like the only way he's been shielding more is like if you condition him to stay and shield. But like whenever there isn't anything pressuring him to shield, like your dash grabs always miss. Like he's way away from you whenever you go for it. So like you really need to think more about how you're setting up the grab. Like you're just going for it raw. Like doing this is basically the same as going for a raw smash attack. It really just has not been working out for you, and you haven't, at least in neutral like this, like you haven't really found good opportunities for it. There's been a couple of times where it's like you were already on the offensive and there wasn't much you could do, so those grabs made sense. But like there's a lot of ones you're just going for it raw and neutral, and it's not working. Also, yeah, remember, if he gets hit by clay pigeon, then if he gets hit by clay pigeon at 102%, you're not trying to get a grab off of that one. That's for sure. You also need to be a little bit scared about how you're doing your auto air dodges in there, because like players will be able to like recognize you're doing that like instinctually, and they'll just have a down air ready to like stomp you into the ground. Okay, good catch there. I'm very happy that you were able to recognize that situation was in play. Oh man, see, like you had it covered with can, but you don't use can. Like you really do need to like consider what your setups are, or just remember what you are setting up. Like as Duck Hunt, you should never have two things covering the same option. There should always be one option for each option you're trying to cover. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt by that at all. Yeah, like you just I don't know if like the Wi-Fi is just getting really bad too, like when you were playing against him, but like a lot of these are just like I don't know. It just seems like you're just really not paying attention to what your opponent's doing. Yeah, please stop the clay pigeons. Okay, I was scared you were about to do one there. Oh no, you did. You had the absolute worst time. Yeah, see, that's the reason why. Just stop the clay pigeons. It's not gonna work. At least not like that. Not like that. Yeah, good call with the landings there. See, like, okay, when you set up a cam like that, like in a platform away from that, when you do that, you should be specifically planning for that. Like you want a combo there later, and you should have like a pretty good game plan for that. At least how you're going to set that up. Which I'm assuming that's what you did there. but it just didn't seem like it was like fully developed. So if you want to set up things like that, like kind of develop what your plan is a little bit more ahead of time. Though I think like kind of seeing those in the moment, like that's just like more of an experience thing. Oh no. Ooh, that's a little bit rough. Yeah, but again, like you just like made some really bad like movement options in neutral, or just like which one what did get you killed there at the very end? Like yeah, you were in full control at this point. Oh, you decided to roll in and clay pigeon? Oh man. Oh yeah, that was really bad. I don't know why you decided to jump there. Like burning your jump is like the worst thing you could do. And like there you have your can there. So you could potentially use that to help you get in safely. But like as long as Shulk's there, you're just pinging it by itself and you're not trying to directly hit it. Like it's just a very obvious thing that you don't do against like sword characters, or if if you have like your opponent right there, because they can throw out any strong attack and you'll just kind of lose that interaction. So yeah, no, there's very, very bad defensive options that we saw from here, and that's what led to your demise. And literally, there's also bad neutral options that led you there in the first place. Like, you know, back clay pigeons, running underneath Shulk is technically not bad, but like you weren't really getting like your shield. You weren't really getting your shields out. I don't really think it was just like you didn't really set up like a good plan to get in, or like in this case, I think it was a little bit more of an execution error of not getting your shield up there. I don't know if you were intending to get your shield out. But yeah, like if you did like dash shield against him, then you would have been in a zone to like throw out an aerial to like stuff him out, and then you could have probably killed him. But like you didn't even need to do that. Like you could have just kept sitting back playing safe because he kept coming towards you, and just played around that. You would have gotten the kill on him. But instead you just tried to force like too many options. You went for some of the most punishable options out there, and like the thing that basically would have gotten you killed against any character. And yeah, that's kind of what led you to death over here. So yeah, overall, it wasn't terrible. Like the main things is that, you know, you have a pretty good punish game overall. You have some pretty decent setups as well, and like your technical ability is not bad. It's just that you don't watch your opponent enough. So when you do, it's very apparent, and when you don't, it's extremely apparent. Like you make like some of the worst calls that I've seen out there in terms of just like, you know, raw clay pigeons too many times because like you see purple and you think that's going to be a free reign to get that attack in there. And then what was it? It's just like there's a lot of times when he's already in the air and you're trying to like grab him, or you're trying to clay pigeon him, and it doesn't just make any sense to do. Obviously, you didn't know about the fact that like his frame data is bad, and as long as you just are next to him and you press an aerial, he'll lose. That will basically greatly change the way that you play around this matchup. And I know as long as you know that information, you would have had way more openings against him than what you were doing here. You also need to play against each art better. Like shield, you didn't really get messed up too much, but like if a Shulk understands you want to keep approaching him when he's in shield art, he won't have any issues like kind of doing damage to you during that moment. So you just need to make sure you camp during those times and just play better there. Smash art, just, you know, camp, play safe. Remember, he does very little shield damage in that because he does like no damage at all. So you can kind of play like that. But if you shield at ledge, he can down throw you and kill you. So that's like the one thing you need to keep in mind there. When he's in Buster mode, that is not a signal for you to do clay pigeon. That is the signal for you to play very, very safe. And when you see those openings, you just go in and get them, but it's almost never going to be clay pigeon. Like there's almost never a point where clay pigeon should be an opening in this against Shulk. What else is there? Don't try to roll behind Shulk because he covers that with back air and nair, so it's very, very hard to do. You want to hit him from the sides. You want to control the air with can, so that way he gets stuffed out there. Or you force him to swing and then you cover his landing that way. Or you try to do the sandwich thing where Can comes behind him and you're in front of him, so you just kind of bait him to come towards you that way. Those are two very good ways to just kind of lock in a jumping and speed art Shulk. And then outside of that, yeah, I don't think you really had the issue of gunman at ledge. I for the most part, I think you always threw it out when he was falling down, which was good. I think there was like one time you ruined a setup though. Like you had Can, then you threw gunman out as he was grabbing ledge, and that was pretty bad. Then outside of that, what else was there? Yeah. Really, it really like most of your issues like stem from not watching him and just not knowing about abusing the frame data and not playing like safe enough against him in certain situations. The other thing too is like in recovery aspect. For the most part, you did the best you could, but remember, don't burn your jumps and like try to be aggressive. Like being aggressive against a Shulk on ledge is like the worst thing you can do. If he's going off stage, okay, there's room for you to try and be aggressive against him, but generally speaking, it's not going to happen. Your main recovery method is you stuff him with can before he can go off stage, or you try, if you don't have time to do that, you go for the can aside out of up B, so that way you can live and go high. Those are kind of your two options. So with all that being said, do you have any questions at all, or not really? Or is that everything? Actually, I should ask stream working again. Because if it hasn't been working this whole time, then this has been for moot. And while he's asking said question, would like to remind you guys, if you do want to support the channel and everything that we do here, or I do here, there's a couple ways you can do that. Of course, we have the donation down below. You can also sub here as well. Do a regular sub. You can do a Twitch Prime sub, which if you have Amazon Prime, you do have a free subscription. And if you do subscribe, you'll get access to exclusive emotes. And you also will be supporting me financially as well. So every bit helps. And if we are able to get to 35 subs, we're currently at 24, so 11 more, then we'll actually be able to add another emote to this channel, which would be really, really good to have. The other thing, too, is there's also the Duck Hunt Discord store. If you scroll down below, you can find the link to that. And there's a bunch of fabulous Duck Hunt merchandise you can get there as well. So, let me see. Did he? Maybe he left. Yeah, actually, it looks like he left. So, all right, that's going to be it for this recording.